Okay, it is 11:02, so we are going to go ahead and get started. If you have not yet, please put your name in the chat so I can take attendance later. Oh, there's a cat tail. That was Louise's tail. So we are going to go ahead and go. So let's see. So welcome to the June 9th, 2025 Missouri Evergreen Cataloging meeting. This should be a relatively short one. So we don't have much cataloging committee news, only a reminder that Kate will be stepping down as the cataloging committee chair and into the executive committee, the chair of all of Evergreen in September. So there will be a change of guard happening, and Sarah Llewellyn from Cass will be stepping in to be the new Kate. So that will be happening. Just a little summation of regional cataloging training. We have completed the training for this session, 2025, visited 5 locations, and we had 60 participants this year. So it was up 12 from last year. So that was really awesome. Thank you to everybody who came out. And we hope to see you guys again next year, hopefully even more of you. Let's see, buzzing right along. Oh, so Cataloging Connect, I got a message from Rogan last week that the Backstage Authority file, the base file, has been uploaded. That took about 40 days to do because we have so many records. And now the authorities are working on linking. I'm not sure how long the linking will take, but it is still in process. It's happening. It is just taking a minute because we are large. So catalog is large, so it is taking a minute. Let's see. Moving right along. Okay, so this was an interesting thing for cataloging discussion. I cannot remember who sent this to me, so I apologize if you are in the meeting. But this is what I'm calling a wonky OPAC summary. So basically what is happening is the MARC record looked correct from our end. And I screenshotted it because it has been fixed now, but so the MARC view enhanced and flat text editor looked fine. And there is a screenshot here, good record. But then this person happened to look in the patron side in the OPAC, and you'll see that the summary is, I believe that's in German and not even for this thing that was this item. And how did that happen? Well, we have no idea. Something happened with Syndetics. It was something that did not have an ISBN. So Equinox fixed it by going in and putting an all 0 ISBN. So it would literally pull nothing. And I contacted Syndetics and they were like, huh. And went about our lives. So if you are having that happen or you happen to notice it happening, please let me know. And hopefully if we have more examples of this, they can figure out what exactly is going wrong. But as for now, it's just a weird anomaly and something that you might not even catch because I don't necessarily go and look at the OPAC side for every record I do. So this person just happened to see it. So this could be happening and we don't even know. It's just one of those things. Yeah. So a fluke. We're full of flukes.
I don't go and look at everything that's cataloged either, but I do encourage everybody to go look in the OPAC occasionally, I don't know, at what you are cataloging. Just to, I don't know, to see what the patron sees.
Yeah, I do a spot check and, just to make sure the picture is coming across and everything looks good. But, even if you're doing that on records, you might not be catching it if it's something like this, because I don't know. They couldn't tell me exactly where this was coming from because there was no identifying a number attached to the record to begin with. It was one of those weird books without really an ISBN. So it was from the ether, but the German ether. So yeah. So that just a heads up, if it happens, you see it, please send a email or a text message and I will look at it and talk to somebody at Equinox and Syndetics again and see if we can figure out why. But for now, just know it's weird. Let's see. All right. Okay, moving right along. This was in the cataloging cat help and in the discussion thread last week. It was about the book by Bill Clinton and James Patterson, The First Gentleman. I have linked the title page here, and the question was, well, one, there were several records in the catalog, but could they be merged because they had listed two different 100 fields. Some people had the 100 field listed as James Patterson, and some people had it listed as Bill Clinton. And as we've talked about, we do go off the title page. So whoever is listed first on the title page is who should be listed in the 100. And in this case, you can see it is Bill Clinton and James Patterson. So Bill Clinton would be the 100, James Patterson would be the 700. That is specifically an RDA rule. Let me close this. There we go. I was like, oh, yes, I listed it at 2.2.2.2. So it's saying, you know, where do we get our information from? With RDA, you can get it from a number of places, you know, the cover, the jacket, whatever, but they do primarily like it to come from the title page. That is still the first place they want you to be looking for this information. So what does this mean? Well, it means the MARC record needs to be correct by the title page. So Bill Clinton should be the 100. However, that does not mean that your library has to shelve the book by Bill Clinton. You have full authority, autonomy to shelve your books however. So if you want to shelve it by James Patterson, that is totally fine. And I think that was where people were running into the snafu because, you know, they have the rule they shelve it by the 100, but that is your library rule and you can massage that as needed. So for the MARC record, we all share it. It needs to be the most correct it can be. So Bill Clinton would be the 100. You want to shelve it under Patterson, you do you, okay? Just know that you have the option to make that decision locally, okay? All right. Do we have any questions about that? I know some other James Patterson books are probably the opposite. He's probably listed first and all his other co-authors are listed second, but again, those would just go by their title page. So they may or may not be listed under James Patterson. It is just how it is. Just publishing is fun like that. So make sure you are looking at the title page first and foremost. Okay, this is going to be the shortest meeting on record, which I don't know if anyone's upset about. The last thing we want to talk about is something new, and this is like a newish rule. So the cataloging committee talked about this, and this was spurred by everybody getting book club kits. Somebody remind me where they were coming from. Was it Mid-Continent?
Yeah.
That was giving, okay. So a bunch of libraries were getting all of these book club kits from Mid-Continent. So we were getting an influx, like hundreds of them. We're talking like quite a few. And so there's a lot of records going in for them. And we wanted to make sure there was a way that all of these things were coming up as book club kits and not just by the 100, like really, you know, differentiating them. So the cataloging committee talked about it and they decided that we are going to institute a 490. This is a MEC specific rule. So just keep that in mind. This is for us. If you went and cataloged somewhere else, this would not be a rule. So for these, we are going to want to add a 490 and it's a 0 for the first indicator because we're not doing the tracing, and the 490 is just book club kit. So then if we have patrons come in and they could look up book club kit, it'll come up that way. But if they want to look up the series to see all of them that way too, it just gives them another way to access these. I did update the crib sheet. And so let's go in here and I'll show you what this looks like. There we go. Okay, so you'll see here, the 245, it's listed, book club kit, and then the title of the book. But here again, the 490 book club kit. So it's just another way for them to have access of that information. Now we don't usually have very like MEC specific rules. We're usually pretty like, you know, oh, we do MARC for this and it's mostly MARC and we have a few rules. So this is a new one. This is a new rule. So is anyone going to be like watching you like a hawk and yelling no? But just keep in mind that the crib sheet for this has been updated and there's reasoning behind it. Any comments, any questions?
I like this because you can limit your search to just your own library and just get a list of your own. Or if you're looking for a book club kit for a group that you have in your library, you can do it to all of Missouri Evergreen and see what everybody has available. I think we talked about this change because when Mid-Continent stopped their service doing this, Liz is not wrong. There are literally, I think there were over 300 titles that were given away to other Missouri libraries. And just by the numbers, a lot of those are going to have to be Missouri Evergreen libraries. So that crib sheet and the template will be very helpful and will help you find any of those book club kits that you guys might be interested in.
And Heather, yes, Heather said we can bulk add a 490 title in a bucket. Yes, we can. That is on my list. We touched on this in regional training, how you can do bulk edits, but you have to be wanting to do the exact same thing to everything. And so this is, since it's kind of, it is something we can do that with. So I'm going to be running a list and adding them with bulk to the ones that are already in the catalog. So don't worry about going back and correcting the ones that you've already done. I'm going to try to catch those. Now, that doesn't mean it will catch everything because we know how that goes, but I'm going to try to catch most of them. We have any more questions or comments about book club kit as our new 490? That's really all we have to talk about, guys. This was a really short meeting. I do want to address that at the last membership meeting, if any of you were there on Thursday, that it was discussed about how Evergreen is meeting heavy and what that means and what that looks like. And currently the rule for cataloging meetings is that you have to attend one a quarter. And that can be whether online or in person. And we keep track of that. I do believe it's in the MOU. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's in the MOU. That is the rule for now. It will probably go on the cataloging committee agenda for us to talk about next week, just so, you know, is this what we want to continue to do, or do we want to change that? I don't know. I just want to acknowledge that it was talked about. I do understand you have a lot of meetings to go to, especially if you're small libraries and you're the one person wearing all the hats. Mad respect. But currently that is the rule, but the recordings count. All you do is email me and I mark your attendance that you watch the recording, and that counts for the one meeting in a quarter that you have to attend to. So yeah. I am open to discussion about that. If anybody has a comment about it, please feel free to, we can talk now, we can talk amongst ourselves, you can email me. So yeah, so that's just, we'll be talking about it, you know, seeing what's going on, seeing how everybody feels and whether it's still appropriate for us as an organization. But I just wanted to reiterate that. Somebody asked, is anyone else noticing books and other materials that have the sticker from other libraries leaving sticky residue on the materials we have here? I don't receive material. So if anybody else noticing that, you're getting stuff where the stickers have been removed, but it's leaving a residue. I think circulation actually has best practices for what kind of tape and stuff to be used, so that does not happen.
They do, and there have been a great many meetings about tape and stickers, and so I would recommend whoever is sending you the sticky stuff, just call them and be like, hey, guess what? Best practices. And they even talked about this, like non-stayable stick tape. I don't know. But it's definitely a CERC. So I would say contact CERC committee as well.
Okay. That's what I thought, Darcy. I thought I remembered Rhonda actually mentioning a brand that worked really well. But you know, I'm not, thank you, Darcy. Darcy is CERC also. So please check in with circulation best practices if you are having that problem, and you may want to contact the library because that is kind of gross and annoying when you pick up a book and it's sticky, and let's hope it's adhesive, right? And not something else. Warren asked, is there a new link that we can find all the recorded cataloging meetings? They are all on the MEC Chair YouTube channel. I will send that out when I send out the notes to this meeting. I will send that link out, but that is where all the meeting recordings go for Missouri Evergreen. They live on that channel. So whether it's a circulation meeting, general membership, whatever, they are all there. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. Okay. I'm getting some good feedback that you guys like the meetings. Good. I try not to bother you. I was hoping they were great, but here we are. So does anybody have anything they want to discuss? Anything to bring up? We can talk about as a group. As my math teacher said, comments, questions, things you want to talk about.
I'm going to send you probably a lengthier email with more detailed, but I love the meetings. I think they're very valuable. I get 1,000 emails a day that I may or may not read. And a lot of times people bring up something that leads us to conversation, questions. So that's all.
Okay. Thank you guys. Any kind of feedback you want to give, please feel free to email me and we can talk. But cataloging committee will be discussing this. And if we don't have anything else, I mean, this is going to be one of the shorter meetings on record. There's Kate's face though. Kate, do you have a comment?
I do. I just want to, I love seeing the feedback that people are liking these meetings. I do feel, you know, us catalogers, we kind of are a bit of a tight-knit group more than maybe other committees. But as you guys can tell, when we are making the agenda for these meetings, and by we, I mean Liz, we are grabbing ideas straight from the listserv and the questions that we get in Cat Help. We are always so very welcoming of anything that you guys would like to talk about and discuss, because, you know, it's cliche for a reason, but because if you have the question, someone else probably has the question as well. So, I mean, we don't want to have meetings just to fill meetings. We want them to be helpful. And I'm seeing that people like that, you know, certain fields are, you know, what did you call it, Liz? The cataloging 101 or something like that?
Yeah, Mark 101.
Mark 101. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that we always love doing that, you know? So any kind of feedback, any kind of ideas, questions that you guys want to discuss, just send an email to Liz or Cat Help, and we are happy to discuss it.
And I will say, you know, we do try to put important things in the meetings, not just filler, and that we do tend to cancel meetings when things are hectic. So, you know, during the holidays, or you can probably expect a canceled meeting here in the next couple of months because summer reading is happening, and the more stuff going on with you guys that is like, you know, event heavy or whatever, the less cataloging questions we get through Cat Help. So it just kind of, it ebbs and flows. Okay. So, but Kate's right. If you have anything that you would like to discuss in a meeting, please let me know. I'm happy to talk about whatever. Okay. So that's all we have. If we have nobody else who has any comments, this is it for us this month. So we will see you back next month in July. Let me find the agenda. What date is it? July 14th. So July 14th, same bat time, same bat channel. Always lovely to see you guys. And if you need me, you know where to find me. Text, email, or Cat Help, okay? So have a great week, guys.